Good job, everyone. You did decide to look around. There's one. In last week's session, Parshas Yitro, Moshe Rabbeinu ascends to Mount Sinai to receive the Ten Commandments, but he is kept on the mountain for a much longer period of time. What did he do up there? He didn't eat, he didn't sleep, he didn't have family responsibilities, he didn't go to work on top of the mountain, one-on-one with the Almighty. To us, it's an incomprehensible, almost eerie scenario. The truth is, Moshe was attending a 40-day lecture on life. For 40 days, God gave a lecture that included a great deal more than the Ten Commandments. In our Sedra this morning, Mishpatim, it contains many commandments, many more than the Ten Commandments that the people heard at Sinai with great fanfare. This Sedra is a compendium of commandments, 50 commandments in all, 24 positive and 29 negative. Were our people prepared for this? It seems that they were, because after listening to Moshe's rendition of this laundry list of commandments, the people said as one, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and we obey. But my friends, there's more to the story. Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch, the great traditional rabbi of 19th century Germany, described the scenario of the heavenly lecture. During the time God lectured to Moshe, he told Moshe exactly what to write down. These are the words of the written Torah. But there was a lot that was said during the great lecture in the sky that Moshe was told not to record. According to tradition, Moshe also received a great many other laws and explanations, information that God gave to him, along with the freedom to share this gift with his students and disciples, Joshua and the elders. So here we have the basis for both the written Torah and the supporting oral tradition. This idea of a lecture and a one-on-one relationship between the Almighty and the greatest prophet ever puts the Torah at a very high level, but also elevates the oral tradition as we know it. It is virtually impossible to comprehend the words of the Torah without accepting an idea that there was an accompanying oral tradition. For example, when God said, "Put a sign on your hand and frontlets between your eyes," nowhere in Jewish tradition is there a discussion or a debate as to what it meant. Everybody from day one interpreted it in only one way, that there would be a black leather box containing parchments upon which 4 sections of the Torah are included, and that these boxes would be worn as part of our daily homage to our God and our faith. These tefillin, worn by Jews throughout time, are never fully defined in the Torah, but yet comprehended by law. The same is true of the ritual slaughter of meat, which is called shechita. Never was it understood in any other manner than the way we understand it, even in the 21st century. So nevertheless, one would have to ask the overriding question: what is the purpose of all these commandments? Did God want to control our every walking and sleeping moment? Did God want to dictate everything to us? What we eat, what we do not eat, how often we pray to Him, and how often we have to seek forgiveness. And the list goes on and on. The Torah itself is a book of laws representing Jewish conviction that the will of God is translated into action through law. Using the metaphor of law to frame the Jewish religious obligations of our traditions, lifts up goodness over preference or mood, establishing the hatred of evil and the pursuit of righteousness as mandate at all times and places. One of our great commentators, Vilna Gaon, on his deathbed was approached by his students. They wanted to know the true essence of the Torah life. The Vilna Gaon said to them that the Torah can be reduced to 2 principles. One is the learning of Torah, and the second is the performance of chesed, kind deeds, acts of compassion, and kindness from one person for another. All the rest of the commandments were virtually means to discipline ourselves so that we could focus on these two principles. One of my rabbis who I learned with at the yeshiva shared the following story with me, which I would like to share with you. There was a story of a plantation owner who had to take a trip. He called upon his trusted foreman and gave him a list of 3 paragraphs that would virtually instruct him in the daily routine of running the plantation. After a month's absence, the plantation owner returned to find everything in shambles. Animals were not cared for, crops were ignored, investments were lost. So he summoned his foreman and wanted to know what he did with that piece of paper. The foreman asked him, what do you mean? I ignored what you wrote? I didn't ignore it. I read it every morning and every evening. I was completely faithful to what you wrote. It's obvious that the foreman isn't. If we are given, let's say, the creed of the Shema to be read every morning and every evening, and if that is the sum of the total of our religious observance, then we are guilty as the foreman. What is most important is how we interpret and translate and live the creed of the Shema and the words of the Torah so we can function with compassion and kindness. In any community, the strength and weakness of the community can be measured in different ways. When a family or an individual is in need, whether the person is sick or in mourning, a community rises to the occasion and brings concern, care, and comfort. When a family is celebrating a simcha, the community again rises to the occasion. The community offers its assistance to lend a hand in the kitchen or in the hospitality for out-of-town guests. We truly rise to help create a crowning simcha for the family. But the real questions, my friends, is what happens in the middle? In the times when there are no crises or there are no events of sorrow or simcha, how then do we reach out with care and compassion for our neighbor and for our community? For the answer, let me ask you again, what is the purpose of the commandments of the Torah? Why did God prescribe all this ritual and tradition? As I see it, our holiday celebrations, religious traditions, milestone events, Shabbos family dinners help protect us for our beloved religious and ritual traditions. It is the bringing together of family and friends and community to connect with one another, to attend our beloved synagogue for any of the services we offer, establishing new and old relationships. Transmitting a positive identity and value system from parent to child. Bring your children and grandchildren with you to shul. The challenge of Mishpatim is to read the text, study the text, but then to realize that the most important element of the Sedra is the element of our response. How do we interpret the words into mitzvot? Mishpatim means judgments, and these judgments are divine. Most importantly, they should inspire us to perform on a higher level, a level of sanctity with one another. The lesson is obvious. Make God an integral part of your home and your life so you can feel His love embracing you. Shabbat Shalom. Our service will continue with the Musaf